Okay, hi, welcome back to my channel. Is that what all the YouTubers say? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. So, I am definitely filming this in the same time frame as my last two videos because my child is asleep. I have the time to do it. I'm in quarantine. I got laid off from my job, so here we are. And I'm here to talk about my birth story of my wonderful baby Addilyn. She's awesome. I am actually going to be using my Instagram archive to refresh my memory, but I just want to talk about my baby as a Clomid baby. We got pregnant with her on our third round of Clomid, and if you want to learn more about my pregnancy and how that was, I don't have a whole lot to say about it, only because not a lot of crazy things happened, and I also didn't do a great job taking notes about it, so I'll remember to do that the next pregnancy. My baby was born on September 1st, 2019 at like 1:28 in the afternoon, I believe, and it was a wonderful experience, which is what nobody wants to hear if they had a horrible pregnancy and birth experience, but here I am to tell you the wonderful bliss that brought my baby into this world. So first, it is worth noting that I got induced because I am considered a high-risk pregnancy because I have a kidney disease called Addilyn syndrome. Getting induced and knowing that I was going to be induced was incredible. I know that an elective induction is not recommended. It is not, I don't think it's even legal in some places. For us, we were induced because of my kidney disease and because I was a high-risk pregnancy, and they wanted to make sure that they could control everything in the environment, and me, being the type A control freak that I am, loved the idea of getting induced. I got to be able to tell my family when to come down, got to plan it, got to shave myself from head to toe, be all ready for the situation, because it was a situation. And yeah, there was no, what you see in movies where my water breaks and then the sirens go off, and it was not like that at all. It was pretty wonderful, actually, and I'm sorry to say that. I know that's super annoying. On August 31st, I went back for my last non-stress test where they checked the movement of the baby and how often she was moving. And then we knew that on August 31st, we were allowed to then call the hospital, and they had us on the schedule, but we had to call the hospital and we had to make sure that they had a bed for us, because obviously they need to keep a certain amount of beds open for women that go into labor naturally, not just rinky-dink women like me that are just blissfully having their baby on a schedule, which I totally understand. So we were supposed to go in at like 9 a.m. And so we called. We don't live very far from the hospital. We were supposed to call them and see if they had any beds available. They actually called us at 7:30 in the morning to tell us that they didn't have any beds available, and it was likely that they wouldn't be getting us in today. Oh, it was likely that they would be getting us in today, but it will not be at 9 a.m. like we were originally scheduled for. And we kind of knew that this was going to happen. They told us, like, be prepared. You could get scheduled, and then it could be a few days before, or even like a week before they can get you in. So I was weirdly calm. I feel like I've become a much calmer person since getting pregnant and since having a baby. But I feel like my family, my mom were freaking out a lot more than I was. I was just like, it is what it is. Still got no call from the hospital. They told me they'd call me like later in the morning. So I think I was updating this at like 10:51 a.m. So they still hadn't called yet, but I got completely packed, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to try to sleep as much as possible. A, to just pass the time, and B, because I know I'm never going to sleep again, which was true. Then 12:30 in the afternoon, my husband brought me Chipotle. Around 1:30 in the afternoon, I started getting a little impatient. Here I am kind of contradicting what I said about being calm, but I was like, what's going on? Don't forget about me, which is stupid. They hadn't forgotten about me. But I did call the hospital and I talked to the charge nurse, and they said that they were going to be able to get me in the next few hours. So great. At 3:04 is when I posted this picture, but around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we got the call, come on in, we're headed to the hospital. And that's when I was kind of like, like, do we have everything? So we hopped in the car, we took a few final pictures, hopped in the car, just Matt, my husband, and I went, knowing that my family would come at a later time because we knew that we were in for a long haul here. So, because leading up to this, obviously I was having weekly OB appointments, and I was not dilated at all. Nothing. Not a dang thing. So we knew this was going to be a long induction. So 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we finally get all checked into the hospital. Before we got there, we took a little detour to Crumble Cookies, and we bought 24 giant chocolate chip cookies for all the nurses. And yes, we did bribe them, but we totally didn't need to because we had an amazing nursing staff. And it wasn't even bribing. We wanted them to know right up front how much we appreciated what they were about to do, which was bring our child into the world. So then 6:15 p.m. and I don't believe we had done anything yet. My family had come in. My husband brought all of our luggage up. I say all of our luggage. I really did try to pack light. I pinky promise. I did bring a suitcase though, like a small suitcase.
A medium-sized suitcase.
So yeah, things are going good. Star Wars was on. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, so I was like, we're fine. I got Star Wars on. We can take our time. Okay, I lied. Let's go back. As soon as we got there, they did put an Cervadil in. I hope I'm saying that right. They put Cervadil, it was like this piece of paper on a long string. And they like tucked it up under my cervix. It was sexy. And that's what started the induction. Here I am by 8 o'clock, and I said that my contractions are slowly picking up. So I could feel them, but they didn't hurt at all. At 11 o'clock at night, we're kind of gearing up to just go to bed. My husband made a bed on the, little chair they provide. He had like the best night of sleep in his whole life, and this was definitely an indicator of what was to come. If you are already a mother, you know that it is so annoying watching your husband with his useless nipples sleep when you can't get that equal amount of sleep because you're the mom. So this was just the first of many nights to come of the great sleep that he had. And this is when my contractions are starting to ramp up. I felt like they were still manageable, and they were telling me that at 4 in the morning we were going to take the Cervadil out. And they were like, let us know if it gets too bad. We can give you some pain meds. They weren't going to give me an epidural yet by any means, but they could give me some pain meds. And I was like,
no, I'm good.
Looking back, I don't know why I felt the need to hold off on the pain meds. Now, let me say, I know there are women that really offer natural birth. I don't understand. I love you all that did a natural birth. You are superheroes in my mind. My opinion is that we have access to traditional or advanced Western medicine. There's no extra trophy at the end for doing it natural. So when I was holding off on the pain meds, I was like, I didn't want to be like a baby by any means. I wish I would have just taken them. I wish I would have taken them earlier and just been comfortable my entire birthing experience, because even though it really was a great birth experience, it was painful at times, and it would have been less painful if I had just opted in to getting those painkillers in the beginning when I first started feeling uncomfortable. At 2:30 in the morning, I was really struggling to sleep because the contractions were really starting to kick in. So I finally was like, yes, I will take the Ambien that you're offering me, please. Good news. The Ambien did nothing at all. Struggled to sleep through the night. Like I said, Matt just passed out snoring next to me like the stupid angel baby that he is. Dumb. We're now on September 1st, the next morning. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and I was saying this morning was rough. And so they took out the Cervadil and they did a ripening gel. Sexy. And then once they did that, the contractions really started to kick in. They told me, she put the ripening gel on, she's like,
Okay, you're gonna wait like an hour, and then we're like gonna have you go take a lap around the halls, and then we can, see how you feel after that.
I like didn't make, I think she was like, we're gonna wait 2 hours because I did not make it. So finally she's like,
Okay, you're gonna go take your lap.
and I took the lap and I like made it halfway to the lap, and then I hit the nurse's station when I'm having a contraction and I'm like bent over the table, and I just look at her and I'm like, she's like, okay, we'll do it. So that was me non-verbally requesting the epidural. I wish I would have taken it earlier. Getting the epidural, naturally I was so scared of it because I think what we hear about it is it's a huge needle. I stupidly Googled all the things that can go wrong with your epidural. Don't do that. I went on a Google bender and ruined my life in that sense. Google is not your friend when you are pregnant. The epidural was fine. I didn't even see the needle, didn't even feel it. The hardest part of getting the epidural was that I got a contraction in the middle of it and you have to stay perfectly still. But my husband was super supportive. He was like, classic hunched over husband holding me pose. So once I got drugged up, things got better-ish. I do recall that I kept trying to get more, like, you can push the button, and I wanted more, and she was like, really? Like, you should be really, you shouldn't really be feeling anything by now. Like, we've given you a lot. Turns out my baby was flipped sunny side up, so all the labor was in my back. So I had like really, really bad back labor. Let's just add to the fact that I had back pain the entire pregnancy. So we'll just come in full circle, ending it on a strong note in my back. It was great. Ooh, Baby Addilyn doing her thing, playing with her feet. She likes to wake up for like 5 minutes and then goes back to sleep. So the back pain was really bad, and then so she did give me more of the drugs, and it was great. So then it got to the point where I literally felt nothing, and if you picked up my leg it would just flop, which was a very weird experience. So my doctor that I wanted so badly ended up being the one on rotation. She came in and she was like arms deep in the situation. She was like, let me see if I can feel your water or whatever. And then she was like, oh, and just popped it. I felt none of this. And then I think she again, this is a beautiful thought, but then she was like, oh, I can see your baby's hair. I was like, she's like, I'll be back in a little, in like 45 minutes, and we'll see if you're ready to start pushing. Ultimately, she came back and she was like, all right, you ready? And I was like, I don't really think I have an option, but yeah, I mean, let's do it. And so ultimately, I'm sorry, I was in labor, or I was actually pushing and actively giving birth for 16 minutes, and I pushed 8 times, and she was out. I'm sorry. It was great for me, but I'm sorry, I know that's not what you want to hear. My doctor, God bless her, she kept saying like, okay, you're gonna curl around your baby, and you're gonna show her the way. Show her the way. And I was like, show her the way? Like, I don't know the way. Like, this is the blind leading the blind. I don't know the way. It's so true what they say with your epidural. Like, you can feel the contractions coming, but you can't. Like, I had no idea whether I was pushing or anything. Then I'm gonna flip over to what my sister has now told me, because she had a front row seat to all the action. And I'm like pushing, and I felt like I was getting nowhere, which is that ultimate of getting the head out, because I just feel like I would push and then just go back in. And I was like, well, this is dumb. This isn't doing anything. I was able to get her head out. And I guess she came out sideways. And then the doctor, while I have a whole human baby coming out of me, I was able to just, put another additional hand in there, and then was able to pull my baby's arm out. So now she's like this. This is what I imagine she looked like. And then from there was able to pull her out. So, boom. Then, baby onto my belly. And I say belly because apparently my umbilical cord was too short and I couldn't make it up to my chest. I'll insert some photos of that blissful moment and my purple little alien baby. But it was awesome. It really, really was awesome. And it has been wonderful ever since. I've truly been blessed with a very happy, well-tempered baby, and couldn't be more blessed. So yeah, ultimately that was my birth. We ended up having to stay in the hospital a couple extra days, or like a day extra than we normally would, because I was positive for like that. I gotta look it up. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, I found it. So I was GBS positive, group B strep positive, and therefore they had to, while I was in active labor and giving birth, I had to have an extra, I had a penicillin, I believe, run through my IV. So because of that, we stayed an extra day. There was something else I thought we stayed an extra day for. So she was a little jaundice, which I was when I was a baby. So we had to stay an extra day for those reasons. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions that I can answer regarding my pregnancy, if you think I'm missing anything. Again, this was like coming up on almost a year ago, which is wild to me. Thank you so much for making it this far. If you have made it this far, I hope if you're giving birth soon that it is a wonderful, wonderful experience. I'm going to be talking more about my breastfeeding experience, things like that coming up. But if there's anything you want to see, let me know. If there's anything you want to talk about, let me know. I'm happy to engage with you. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel, to like this video, follow me on social media, which I have linked down below. And yeah, that's it. This is the last video I'm going to film for today, believe it or not. I think there's no unawkward way to sign off from a video. Bye.